Today we have something a bit different. It's a very remarkable sci-fi prop replica. It's the Star Trek Original Series Tricorder by the One Company, and it is spectacular.
Okay, roll 'em!
I first heard about this tricorder over a year ago when I saw it being demonstrated on Adam Savage's Tested channel. I was so impressed, in fact, that I did something I wouldn't normally do, and I joined a waiting list to be one of the first people invited to buy, and let me tell you, it was worth the wait. And just a few weeks ago, I received an email from the One Company inviting me to be one of the first people to buy in the UK through an Amazon link. I clicked that buy button, and in less than 24 hours my tricorder was handed to me by a courier in a very sturdy cardboard box. Opening the cardboard box, you'll find some very smart and chic package design. It's meant to make you feel like a new recruit to the Starship Enterprise in the 23rd century. Lifting the lid, there's a very comprehensive and easy to follow instruction manual telling you all you need to know to get the best out of your tricorder. Beneath this, you'll find the tricorder in its protective case, a magnetic display base, and a set of data discs in various groovy 60s colours. I really like this packaging design because not only does it look great, but it does a great job of protecting the tricorder and its accessories, and it's also really easy to get at them without having to fight your way through lots of plastic and cable ties. The faux leather cover that your tricorder comes in looks fantastic, not cheap or flimsy at all, and it feels more like real leather than you'd expect, with some really smart stitching. And removing this cover, you'll find a stunning replica reproduced from 3D scans of an actual screen-used prop. It's made from high-grade plastics, and all the metal parts are machined aluminium. That's right, we pronounce that word properly here in the UK, aluminium. I mean, after all, you wouldn't call Han Solo's ship the Maluminum Falcon, would you? The 8 data discs slot in and out of your tricorder via a spring-loaded mechanism. Each data disk has a graphic telling you its function, but it's also laser etched on one side. And as a pure geek, I decided to load them with the screen accurate blank side showing. You'll also find some laser etching on the sturdy metal base, which is magnetic, and you can display your tricorder on this without its cover. But bear in mind that the magnet isn't that strong, so if you are storing your tricorder on a high up open shelf, I wouldn't rely on it too strongly. But before you get to play with your tricorder, you first need to charge the onboard battery via the USB-C port at the back for a recommended 4 hours. And as I'd waited a whole year for this item, 4 hours really didn't seem to make that much difference. But it wasn't easy. You'll find a charging cable in the bottom compartment of the tricorder, together with some plastic inserts, which are meant for housing a possible One Company medical scanner sometime in the near future. The one pictured here came with my Diamond Select tricorder, so I might just pop that one in there for now. Thankfully, the 18650 battery is easy to remove via this very obvious screw thread at the back of the tricorder, which lets you open up the back panel. But just remember to charge your battery at least once every 6 months to keep it healthy, and if you're putting the tricorder into storage for any period of time, always remember to remove the battery to avoid any degradation or leakage, damaging your lovely collectible. And now the fun bit. Flip up the lid and turn on your tricorder by pressing the middle switch. After a few seconds, you'll be greeted by the Starfleet symbol and then the home screen. The instruction manual explains clearly how to set the time and date, your name and passcode if you wish. So no pesky aliens can operate your tricorder without your say-so. Most important to know though is that the middle button is also a toggle and selection switch. Pressing it once from the home screen puts the tricorder into prop mode, and this is how it mostly appeared in the series. Press the middle button again and you'll hear the famous tricorder noise, and press the left button to toggle between 3 lighting modes. On the home screen menu, you'll notice that whichever disc is in the far right slot will have its name displayed on the screen, and you can use the left hand button to access that disc directly. But don't worry, you don't have to keep swapping out your discs to access them. Simply go to Settings and choose Disc Override, and here you can access any disc menu. And now you can play to your heart's content. Status gives you a rundown on the tricorder's health and that of the Enterprise. And now and again you'll get some fun fictional warnings about the health of the ship and how your dilithium crystals are doing. Good for a bit of cosplay drama. Planetary mode provides you with a brief guide to 15 astronomical bodies, including the planets and moons of Earth's solar system. In logs, you have access to all of the original captain's logs from the original series, whether recorded by Kirk or whoever was minding the store. Sound quality is excellent, and I think incidental music or background noise from the original TV recordings may have been removed by AI. And by the way, this tricorder has a built-in microphone for you to record your very own captain's logs. In Archive, you have access to not only images and computer graphics from the original series, but also video footage from the episode City on the Edge of Forever. And this, incidentally, was the only time in the original series that the tricorder was seen to display video footage. It's a really nice touch, and I have to say that when I first saw the demo for this tricorder just over a year ago, that last feature alone was enough for me to join the mailing list. And that's simply because City on the Edge of Forever has to be one of the greatest episodes of the original series. It's incredibly moving and a fantastic story. It's written by Harlan Ellison, most famous for his science fiction writing of short stories and novellas, but he also wrote the odd episode of television throughout the 1960s, including episodes of things like The Outer Limits, and he has two very famous episodes of The Outer Limits, Soldier and also Demon with the Glass Hand. So I really do encourage you to find out more about Harlan Ellison, a really fascinating character, and all about his work. Orientation is essentially a compass. Yes, I know you have one on your mobile phone, but it's still a fun thing to have in the fictional 23rd century. And the instruction manual will show you how to calibrate the compass by physically turning it through a 3-axis setup. Atmosphere is where you will find accurate and actual readings of temperature, humidity, and barometric pressure. Yes, this tricorder actually works in the real world, and after about a month of using it, I can tell you that its readings are definitely spot on. And in addition to this, the radiation section measures electromagnetic fields. If you place a cable of any electronic device you have plugged in against the base of the tricorder, its electric field will register. Audio is where you'll find sound visually measured in 3 modes: spectra, oscilloscope, or both combined. The 9th section is engineering. It's not part of a disk menu and is only accessible in disk override. It's an overview of pretty much everything I've mentioned so far in one screen, which can be pretty hard to read without a magnifying glass. One nice touch though is that it even registers the data disks in the order you've inserted them. Now, prior to this one company Replica, the closest and most affordable version of a screen accurate tricorder was this one from Diamond Select back in 2018. Diamond Select made 3 versions of the tricorder, which are now becoming harder and more expensive to find. They included a medical tricorder, a geological tricorder, and this one, the science tricorder. Whilst this version is pretty good looking and it's about the same size as the one company's, it really can't compete in terms of build quality as it's entirely made of plastic. And putting the two side by side, the most glaring difference is the backlit screen, which is more of a clunky squared off rendering when compared to the lovely and totally screen accurate miniature television of the one company's. Also, the screen section only opens up to this fixed position, unlike the one company's, which opens up till it's nearly horizontal. The Diamond Select has a moving moire, which is a really nice touch, but unlike the one company's, it's not backlit. However, the lights and the sounds on the Diamond Select are really impressive, and it even has a louder speaker than the one company's. Power consumption is pretty good too. I'm getting about 3 or 4 hours from the inbuilt battery, and that's probably more than enough even for the most obsessive cosplayer. A nice touch is that if you close the tricorder lid and open it again within 15 minutes, you can start from exactly where you were. Leave it closed and it will automatically power off. And I discovered quite by accident that if you leave the tricorder open for longer than 15 minutes, it will automatically go into this Starfield screensaver mode, as if you're flying through space in the 23rd century. Nice. So in the final analysis, or diagnostic as Star Trek fans might say, who is this super duper screen accurate one company tricorder actually aimed at? Well, first and foremost, I would say true fans of the original series like myself, people of a certain age who now have £324 to spend to buy back a piece of their childhood. When it comes to myself, I'll take any episode of the original series of Star Trek over pretty much anything that came later, and that's simply because these days people seem to have forgotten how to write action adventure for television. Simple stories with a beginning, a middle, and an end, and strong male and female characters. Instead, we have something called the story arc, and that's pretty much designed to keep you locked into a subpar subscription service until the day you die. Now, despite my love of film and television, I am nowhere near what you would call a hardcore prop collector. For one thing, I can't afford to be, and as I get older, I try to think really hard about the things I buy and whether or not I actually need them, because I don't want my possessions to possess me. But I have to admit that every now and again, something comes along which just screams buy me, and this tricorder was one of those items. Now, this is probably the last Star Trek replica I'll ever buy, so I thought to myself, why the hell not? Especially as I missed out on the phaser and communicator from the One Company. So, despite a slight twinge of guilt for spending over £300 on what is essentially a grown-up's toy, I've decided that I bought this tricorder because I love it, and I think that's the best reason to buy any collectible. Unless, of course, you're a dealer who just wants to make a quick profit, and bear in mind these tricorders won't be around for long. At the time of making this video, the tricorder is still available on Amazon UK, but I've already seen people trying to sell it on eBay for ridiculous prices of anything up to £1,000. But as wonderful as this tricorder is, it's not perfect. My main gripe is that I would have liked to have seen a bit more real-world usefulness. Perhaps some Bluetooth functionality or even a built-in digital radio would have been nice. The screen section is too loose in general, and you usually have to use two hands to operate it safely, to stop it moving around too much whilst pressing the buttons. Sound effects and the speaker volume could be a bit louder too. In particular, remember you'll have to open the first compartment door not just to look at the wonderful backlit moire, but also to ensure that the sound won't be muffled. But we have to remember that this tricorder is aimed at a certain audience. The build quality and the accuracy are absolutely superb. So at the end of the day, the One Company might have got that £324 price tag just about right. And that's it for my first prop replica video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, why not like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Okay, roll 'em!